Hello folks, this is James Samudio from the barn, coming to you from Blanchard, Oklahoma. Today I have with me Leslie Dodd from Dodd Farms, and I'm working with her to develop a new bed. We're going to have strawberries we're going to plant today. Hopefully you love strawberries as much as we do, and hopefully you can enjoy this video. Thank you. Leslie?
Well, James, we have tore down the old bed. It was made out of wood and it was falling apart, and it seemed like the soil was a little bit too compacted. And then we got these neat plastic tin horns, so we thought, well, that'll be a perfect new bed. So we've removed the old soil, and I think, I wanted your help to be able to establish all the new, maybe the right kind of layers to make sure that our soil is not compacted and that it's very nutrient, and I have a great harvest on my strawberries.
Hopefully we will. I'm looking forward to strawberry shortcake in the future.
I know, so I'll give you a strawberry shortcake. So what do you think would be our first thing that I need to put in this bed?
The first thing I do is put some gravel in the bottom of it so you have decent drainage. And it's a great innovative thing you've done. What they've done, she said tin horn. Well, for those of you who are greenhorns and don't do anything in the country, it's actually a culvert. And it was a long culvert. And her husband, Matt, took and cut it into sections and put this down where we can use it as a bed. And by the time it wears out, it will be gone. Yeah. It'll last forever and ever. So it's a great idea of reuse and being able to capture something that would have been thrown away otherwise. Yeah. So join us with the video. If you have any questions, please post them. And if you can, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We hope to give you a lot more information in the future. Thank you. Okay, folks, what we've done first here is you need to have a bed where things can drain out. If you don't have it, then the plant can get root rot and things become anaerobic. You don't want that. And anaerobic just means no oxygen. Okay? So we're taking this gravel that was dumped in here and we're pulling it around and leveling it out. And it doesn't have to be perfectly level, none of that. We just want a good base where the water can seep through the rock and you don't have any standing water on the roots so it can rot the roots.
Now, James, does it make any difference the size of the rock that goes on the bottom of this, or does it have to be rock?
The bigger rocks are going to be a little bit better because there's easier drainage to go through.
Yeah.
What Matt's put in here is about inch and a half to 2 inch. They probably, as he said, it's probably called 2 inch. Yeah. But it's good for drainage, so the water can seep down through, and eventually it'll seep out, obviously. Right. But that's the situation.
So is there a substitute that someone can use if they didn't have this, like maybe brick, or can they use?
You can use old bricks. You could use old rocks. You could use just any rocks you could find. Anything like that will help to have drainage. You just don't want anything that's going to compact with that. The other thing too, since this is deep enough, you had asked me earlier, and I didn't say, you don't necessarily have to, unless there was a ton of heavy brush, like scrub type stuff coming up through here, underneath where this is, you don't have to put down any weed barrier.
Yeah, because some people would ask, hey, I've got Bermuda, would I have weeds coming up on this?
The problem for Bermuda, it'll grow almost on anything, but since this is going to be pretty thick, it's going to have, the roots are going to have to be germinated underneath, come up through the gravel, and come up through the soil. Yeah. Impossible, not for Bermuda, but likely, not likely.
Not likely. So Matt, how deep is this? Is it 24 inches? So this is a 24-inch one. Some people maybe not make it quite as high, but Matt's kind of spoiling me. I asked him if he could do a high one for me.
The other thing you might like too is sometimes with a raised bed, and this is going to be a raised bed, sometimes you can go anywhere from 18 to 24, even more than that. But as you can see, I'm 6'3", and if I sit down here, I can reach in to work the harvest, and it's easy enough for me. But for a shorter woman, then it'd be easier probably if it's about 18 inches, so they're not having to lean their knees over to touch the ground. So that's what we're looking at here. But this is layer number 1. So we have in here too. The other makeup is, what else do you have?
So we have lots of leaves, we've got sand, we have soil, the soil that came out of here. Of course, like I said, it was a little compacted, so I figured we needed to add something to that so it won't be quite as compacted. But it was really rich looking dirt. And then I've got also this dirt sitting here that I thought we might could use.
Okay. And do you have any animals around here for?
We have rabbits. We've got rabbits, then of course chickens.
Okay. Here's the thing with that too, people. If you already know this, I'm sure, but if you don't, that's fine. Now you're learning. We don't necessarily put in chicken feed or chicken manure, excuse me, or cow manure or horse manure directly because it gets too hot. It's high of nitrogen content. You need to compost that first. However, by putting in here with rabbit manure, or if you have sheep or goats, that's just perfectly fine. It can go in and right in the mix, right out of the rabbit, and it won't harm it whatsoever. But it's good to add that mix so it'll begin to break down and give it food. Leslie already talked about we're putting in strawberries, but she's also considering putting in some asparagus crowns. If you do that, asparagus likes a lot of food, and so you want to make it extremely rich so that we'll be able to feed that asparagus, because asparagus is a perennial and it'll keep coming back every year. And you'll continue to amend it, but you want to have it a good head start for the first 2 or 3 years of what you put in it, so it'll get a good rooting and begin to produce a lot for you.
So what do you think Matt should put next? I told him, I thought, well, I mean, should we put like a foot of leaves in it, and then put our soil, or should he mix the leaves with the soil?
I would mix them.
Mix them, that way it breaks down?
Yeah, well,
Breaks down.
and how does it break down? My pat answer for everything, the microbes.
Microbes.
Microbes are what bring us health and our gut health. We know that.
Yeah.
We hear about probiotics, but God has made it in such a way that that works for the land as well. The probiotics are the relationship between the roots of the trees, whether they're shrubs, strawberry plants, or redwood or sequoia trees. Either way, there's a symbiotic relationship, and the microbes are the thing that mine and gather up the food for the plant to keep them healthy.
Well, since I knew you were coming and to help me with this, I sprayed some microbes on my strawberry roots to get ready to plant them.
Great idea.
I kind of thought, well, I'll get a little bit of a head start.
And the other thing too is you can take the same microbe mix,
Uh-huh.
and you can pre-soak your seeds before you plant it. You'll have a much higher germination rate, and it'll get the plants much stronger.
Oh, wow. I never thought about that.
The microbes, their food source is the same as the pathogens, and so
Okay.
they fight off the pathogens in order to keep things healthy.
Oh, well, I should have thought that when I did my carrots the other day. I'll do that on my next ones that I do.
All good, because
All right.
right now in Oklahoma, it's a bit chilly here,
It
but
is.
we're right on the edge of planting,
Yeah.
and it may be a little early in the season, but for what we're putting in, it should do great.
Yeah, with the strawberries, early.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. So.
Well, let's send Matt to get the
All
soil,
right.
and we'll go from there.
All right, Matthew, would you go mix our soil? And so this will, due to the strawberries, then I'll have time. I have room on top for some mulch.
Yeah, and what I would probably do on this, we'll level this out
Okay.
with the rake. But what I would do is we'll plant them, get them a chance to get established,
Okay.
and then come back and mulch, like with a pine bark mulch. Which
Okay.
Pine bark helps with acidity, because
So
around here we
strawberries?
have pretty strong limestone.
So is strawberries? They
It's
need
going.
that?
Any plant's going to benefit from a variance of having more of a neutral soil.
Okay.
And so it'll help to build more neutrality, and it breaks down pretty easy to help bring food to the plants.
Okay, so
And
pine. Tell me the mulch again one more
pine
time.
bark mulch.
Pine
Bark
mulch. Okay. So what would be the difference if I just put pine needles on here?
You can do that too, and that's very high in acidity, but it's going to break down a little bit faster.
So.
And the other problem is too, if you put too many of them on there, it can gum things up and not have the water flow quite as easily.
Okay, all right. So I'm thinking about got this, and we can start our strawberries.
I think we're ready.
I got so many strawberries. All right, what do you think about that?
That looks good.
All right.
And now we're going to plant. Are you ready? Thank you.
Okay, so James, I've got my flat of strawberries, which I've got a whole bunch because these came out of my old bed. So I'm gonna put it in here. So how far apart do you recommend these plants to be?
Maybe 8 inches.
Like right here?
Yeah, and you could put less too. Strawberries can grow together as a big group, but maybe 8 inches.
How about like that?
Yeah,
Does that look
that's
good?
Okay, we have all these in, and we're good, but we want to have where it's almost like a bouquet of strawberries when they come in. We have enough food in here. They should do fine. They have plenty of water. They'll have great sun. So we can plant them even closer if we want to. So we'll fill in some of the holes. Like there's a hole right here, there's a hole right here, there's a hole right here that we can fill in to bridge the gaps and have it where it's just a blanket of strawberries.
Okay.
Won't that be fun when we harvest?
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, and like I got like 3 more bags of strawberry plants, so this will be great. And so, and strawberries, don't they produce fruit off the new shoots?
Yes, yes.
The old ones kind of die off, and then the new ones.
And it'll continue to grow
Yeah.
and continue to spread, and it'll send out runners where it'll get bigger and bigger.
Oh, I just pulled that one out. All right, so we'll get a few more, and we'll just fill in this bed a little bit more.
And every time you plant, you have to remember too, water. The soil's nice and moist, but some of the plants, even though they were sprayed yesterday, for some reason are a little bit dry. So we need to water them in so they get nice and moist and get tucked into the beds. When you plant the plants, you want to just pat back around them to have the compression of the soil around about them so that the roots are all touching the soil. And then that way, there's limited ways for them not to get their nutrient, not to get their moisture, and help to keep them healthy. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this today, and we're looking forward to teaching you more and grow a garden.
Yes.
We need to grow a garden. You can see how much costs are going up. You see the quality of food. We know where it's coming from. If you put it in yourself, you know what the quality is, you know where it comes from, and you're able to provide this not only for your family, but your friends. Grow it now while you still can. Thank you. Join us again, like I said, either go to thebarn.world or join us here on our video channel here on YouTube. And I thank you for coming and seeing us.